Today I'm going to show you how to build a delicious, satisfying smoothie that will keep you full for hours. Also going to share with you the ratios so you can build a perfect smoothie without a recipe, and also share how to best clean your blender. My first tip is actually very easy. It is to go down to the description box, find the blog post about smoothies, go to the blog post and check out the chart in there, because there is a very helpful chart in that blog post that's going to give you the ratios you want to use for a perfect smoothie. The amount of liquid, the amount of fruits and veggies, the amount of fat sources and other add-ons and mix-ins. And I would recommend bookmarking the blog post on your desktop or taking a screenshot with your phone so you can always have it handy, or print it out, carry it around with you in your wallet. That's not weird. Totally do it. Have a smoothie consultation guide in your wallet. My second tip is to use frozen vegetables and fruits wherever possible. It's going to create that really creamy, thick texture that you want in a smoothie, and it's also going to give it that nice iciness without having to add ice. So if you're using room temperature fruits, you're going to have kind of a room temperature smoothie. I don't know about you, it doesn't really sound appetizing to me, so try to stick with frozen fruit when you can. If you're looking for low sugar fruits to add to your smoothies, berries are the best option. Of course, you can buy them frozen at the grocery store. They're usually picked during their peak season and then flash frozen, so they've got all the nutrients. But if you don't want to buy plastic packaging, you can always buy your fresh berries in the summer and then freeze leftovers so you can have them throughout the year. That's something I love to do. I buy a ton of fresh berries as well as stone fruit in the summer, and then I freeze the stuff I can't use, and then I can have delicious fresh fruit in my smoothies year-round, and it's also gentler for the environment. And of course, the most popular fruit to add to a smoothie is the humble banana. They're starchy and creamy, and they add that natural sweetness, so they are perfect. But when they're frozen, they're even better. Your smoothie is going to be so creamy and thick and luscious. It's almost like a dessert, like a healthy dessert, of course, but almost like a healthy dessert. So love using bananas. But if you were trying to limit your sugars, then you can try to use one of the two vegetables I'll suggest in the next tip. I like to think of smoothies kind of like cold soups. You toss a bunch of vegetables in there, you add some liquid, you blend it all together, hope that it tastes good. In all seriousness, I do think there are some limits. Maybe don't add roasted eggplant to your smoothie, but you can add quite a few different vegetables to your smoothies and still have them taste delicious. Probably already familiar with green smoothies because it's 2019, so you probably had a smoothie with spinach or kale in it, but you can also use other greens. You can use collard greens, which are so healthy for you. You can also use mustard greens or arugula. Those are going to be a little bit spicier and more pungent, so go slowly, just add a little bit, see how you like it. You can also add things that would otherwise go to waste, like beet tops or carrot greens, so if you want a zero waste smoothie. And then these aren't technically vegetables, but I love adding fresh herbs like basil and mint. They both add a really nice, fresh, refreshing taste. I don't really know how to describe it beyond that, but they are fresh herbs, so yeah, they add a little bit of a fresh pop to your smoothie. Other vegetables I love using in my smoothies that are not going to change the color of it are cauliflower and zucchini. I know it sounds a little weird, but hear me out. When you steam cauliflower and then put it in the freezer, it is going to have this same effect on your smoothie texture-wise as banana, but without any of the sugar. Of course, you can buy steamed cooked cauliflower that's frozen in the grocery section, but you can also steam your own cauliflower and then pop it in the freezer. It's up to you. For the zucchini, I just take a vegetable peeler and I peel this. I use these, the skin part, I put in salads, as a topper or in stir fries. Once you get past the green flesh, you'll see some white flesh. I just slice that into rounds like I would a banana, pop it in the freezer, and then it acts again like a banana. It's not going to be as creamy, but it is going to give a lot of heft and creaminess and nutrition to your smoothie without the sugar. The last type of vegetable I love in a smoothie is sweet potato. So when you bake the sweet potato, you know it gets like really caramelized and soft. Take out the skin, put the flesh in the smoothie. It's gonna add that really nice sweetness. It's gonna add some creaminess and thickness. It's just all around delicious. I'm looking for a full meal replacement with my smoothie, so I want to add ingredients that are going to help me stay full. One of those is oats. Yes, you can add oats to your smoothie. One option is to add quick or instant oats to your smoothie directly into there. They don't have to be cooked. It's just gonna make it thicker. Your other option is to use rolled oats, which is what I have here, and that is usually what I do. And it will change the texture a little bit. It will make it thicker, but if you want it to be really smooth, you can soak your oats for just like 5 to 10 minutes before adding them to the smoothie. To make things really simple, you can just soak them in the liquid that you're gonna add to the smoothie. So your almond milk or your cashew milk or whatever. Just soak your oats in there for like 10 minutes, prep the rest of your ingredients, and the smoothie will be really thick and creamy. I don't really like to use protein powder in my smoothie unless I've had a really tough workout, but I haven't had a really tough workout in a really long time because I haven't been to the gym in a really long time. Kind of a moot point for me. But if you are looking for creative ways to add protein to your smoothies that do not include protein powder, here are some options. The first type of ingredient are beans. And before I lose you, let me quickly explain. I don't mean all kinds of beans. I don't really recommend using black beans, for instance, unless you want a Mexican salsa smoothie. But I do like using chickpeas or garbanzo beans, as well as white beans, because they're pretty neutral in taste. If you add them to a smoothie, as long as you don't go overboard, it's gonna add some creaminess and protein without tasting like hummus. The other type of ingredient is silken soft tofu. This is the softest form of tofu. It's almost like a jello-y form. It has no taste, so it's just gonna make your smoothie thick, creamy, and add protein. If you want a smoothie to be a meal replacement and to really fill you up, you want to have some balance of protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats. And my favorite source of healthy fat, shouldn't come as a surprise, is an avocado. If you add the flesh of like half an avocado to your smoothie, it is going to turn so creamy and thick, almost like a milkshake. It's just so satisfying. I also really love adding coconut yogurt to my smoothies. So you're gonna get that rich creaminess from the yogurt, the healthy fats from the coconut. And if you're using a homemade coconut yogurt like I am, you're gonna get that really nice settled tang from the yogurt. This is the homemade coconut yogurt from my cookbook, the Vegan Instant Pot Cookbook. You can find the recipe in the breakfast chapter of the book, and you can buy my book on Amazon or wherever books are sold. I've included links to buy my book in the description box below. The other sources of healthy fats I like to use are raw nuts and seeds, but if you don't have a high-powered blender, you might want to just stick to nut butters instead, like this almond butter, because your blender might not be able to fully pulverize the nuts, and you might just have weird pieces of nuts in your smoothie. I like to add almonds, cashews, walnuts, really any kind of nut or seed. We've got some chia seeds here. There's also flax seeds and hemp seeds. They've got healthy fats, and with hemp seeds, you've also got protein, so a great addition to your smoothie in the morning. are an excellent opportunity to add in some superfoods that you might have trouble incorporating into your diet otherwise. So one of my favorites is spirulina. This is, you can see this like beautiful blue-green color. It smells terrible. It smells like salty fish, but it is actually one of the most, if not the most, nutrient-dense foods on the planet. If you put in a smoothie, just like a half teaspoon, you're not gonna notice the taste or the smell. It's gonna blend up perfectly. The next superfood I love to add to smoothies is turmeric. You do want to make sure that you add one of two ingredients to your smoothie to make the active compounds in turmeric bioavailable for your body to digest. Either some healthy fats like the coconut oil or some black pepper. If the sound of black pepper in your smoothie sounds weird, just know that you need just a tiny, tiny bit of black pepper, so tiny you won't taste the difference. And then finally, if you're making something like a smoothie bowl and you want some toppings, I love adding raw cacao nibs. Adds a nice little crunch. And if you want something chewy, you could try goji berries, and I love those in smoothie bowls. If you've made smoothies a lot, you know that your blender never really feels or looks clean. You might have struggled with taking the blade out, especially if you have a Vitamix like I do, and you can't actually remove the blade at the bottom, so you can't put it in the dishwasher. I take a little bit of dish soap, put it directly in here, then I fill the blender up with some water, maybe like a third of the way full, so something like this, and then I put it back on the blender stand. Don't forget the lid. And then I just put it at medium-high speed for like a minute or so, and that's going to be the best way to clean your blender. It has really changed my life since I've learned this tip. I promise it will change your smoothie life as well. If you learned something new today, found this video useful, enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate it when you do. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.